Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Not something new here, but it's revealing because the Russians are saying it out loud. And my question is, what's next? All right, you acknowledged NATO's direct active involvement in Ukraine. Then what? Then what? They've been saying this a little bit, veiled in a veiled way before, but now Patrushev comes out and says, "Well, we know these guys are involved, actively involved in Ukraine's attacks on Russian territory." So it's not anymore attacks on the Russian military on the occupied territories. No, in Russia. Well, I think it was not a secret for most of us, but nevertheless, let me show you here an article and let me show you how Reuters spins and gives connotations of a certain kind to form opinion, to shape opinion. So here is an article, as I said, from Reuters. Putin ally Patrushev says NATO is helping attacks on Russia from Ukraine. Do you know who Patrushev is? You know what title he has in the Russian government? It says here, Patrushev is one of the Kremlin's top hawks. A powerful ally, the second time, of President Vladimir Putin said on Tuesday that NATO was basically fighting Russia in Ukraine and that US-led military alliance had helped organize strikes on sovereign Russian territory. Again, they don't tell you who Patrushev is, okay? It's okay, I help you figure out who that is if you don't know. Nikolai Patrushev. He is secretary of the Security Council of Russia. So he's right here, he was director of Federal Security Service. He is a governmental official, a government in Russia. He's over there. Well, if you look at how this Wikipedia page defines him at the beginning, you're going to realize what exactly these guys want to say about him, right? He says the Russian politician, security officer, and former intelligence officer who has served as Secretary of Security Council since 2008. He previously served as the Director of Federal Security Services from 1999 to 2008. So, imagine that you're never going to hear this. And that's my question. Reuters, Associated Press, CNN, Fox News will say, Lloyd Austin, an ally of President Biden. You will never hear that. Why? Because you're supposed to be one. Who appoints these guys? The president's office. They come, they put him in front of these guys. These guys say yes or nay, yay or nay, and they do because they won the elections. Imagine if they come with, Kirby, an ally of President Biden, John Kirby. But he is, because he's part of the government that rules. What, are you going to put someone over there that is not an ally? So again, why these guys say that? Because they want to make sound like Russia is led by a clique, by a gang of bad people from intelligence services. But United States of America, no. All right, so let's go to the article. Again, powerful ally. What is he supposed to not be an ally? And it says, the North Atlantic, I'm quoting, Alliance is de facto a party to the Ukrainian conflict and is actively involved in organizing the shelling of Russian territories. That is, you go down the street and someone punches you in the face. What's your reaction? Everybody, he punched me in the face. Are you going to call the police? Or are you going to, the police being the United Nations, without this, from too much methamphetamine? Okay, so how about that? You're going to call the United Nations? No, you're going to notify them, and you're going to fucking smack that. See you next Tuesday, right? That's exactly what you're going to do. So again, what are you going to do, Russia? Are you going to shell them? No, because they're afraid. Or maybe they show restraint. And I'm quoting, within its framework, collective decisions are being made on new arms supplies with an increase in their technical and long-range capabilities. and NATO instructors in several countries are training mercenaries and saboteurs for their participation in anti-Russian operations. Ukraine has struck deep into Russian territory over the past year, bombing oil refineries and weapons factories with drones and repeatedly shelling Russian border regions. So NATO is trying to destroy competition, the NATO country, not NATO countries, actually the interests that have the United States by the balls. They are trying to eliminate competition. Why? Their product sucks. Or I don't know, the technological process is an imbecilic that costs you too much. Therefore, you can't compete. So what do? You ban them. How? You make the idiots ban themselves from buying the product. Isn't that genius? No, I think it's retarded. So they made the Europeans sanction themselves buying a cheap product so they can buy the more expensive product from the United States of America. Example, LNG, liquefied natural gas. No, stop guys from buying cheap Russian gas because they can blackmail you and you destroy Putin's war machine. Remember when they said about everyone actually who these guys are pointing to be a bad guy has a war machine, including Saddam Hussein. He had a war machine. Saddam's war machine. Really? Rubble. That's what I had. Rusty equipment. 1,000 years old. They were fighting with swords and with knives. Jesus Christ. We're gonna do this. The same. Yeah, Putin has a war machine. Yeah, maybe one of the only ones these guys dare to attack with proxies. Not with us, though. We're strong, but we're not gonna fight you directly because we're strong. Why? We don't want you to hit us. Only we can hit you because we're strong and the might is right. All right, so we have here all refineries. These guys are just trying to eliminate competition, destroy Russia, take over its national resources, and then bring freedom and democracy like they brought in, Iraq. Have you seen those skyscrapers? The Iraqis want the Americans out of the territory. How is that working? Here are some millions of dollars. Shut up. That's how you bring democracy. All right, let's see further here. And I'm quoting, the West considered the collapse of Soviet Union only as one of the stages of the confrontation with Russia, Patrushev said. And I'm quoting again, the weakening of our country as an economic and political competitor and its subsequent removal from the political map of the world through dismemberment are the long-term strategic goals of Washington, London, and the countries of the collective West controlled by them. Anglo-Saxons, they say. Anyway, so what do you think, my friends? It says that NATO, Patrushev said, was systematically boosting its military potential along our borders from the Barents Sea to the Black Sea and holding maneuvers close to Russian territory. That's a fact. Who moved towards whom? Did Russia move towards NATO? Or NATO moved towards Russia on multiple occasions? Well, you know who's they call it the, how they call it? They have their aspirations, right? Their, how do you call it? When you want to conquer, imperialist aspirations. Russia? Who has military bases all over the world? And why? To keep peace. Can the Russians do that? Why? No, they can't. Why is that? Because we say they're bad dudes. Who's we? Whomever we determine is we. You can be bad tomorrow. You can be good tomorrow. If you are like a dog, sit, roll, get the fuck out. You're a good guy, man. You're a good guy. Oh, you don't want to roll when I tell you? Hey, guys, that's a bad guy over there. Let's teach him a lesson. And hey, he's got some resources over there that I'm going to use and distribute to you like crumbs from the table. That's exactly what's going on, my friends. Exactly what's going on. And these strong countries, allies they call themselves, ally like a pack of wolves, but the problem is the pack of wolves, they're related. And related, and not only related, but they have more than, because a pack of wolves does not dismembers after they kill whatever the victim, and then they eat after the biggest and strongest one eats. Remember the lion and the lioness are eating, they eat some, they kill a buffalo and they fight hard, and then fuck, he's coming. Who? The guy comes, everybody spreads and waits until the lion gets a big belly, and then he allows everybody else to come around. Sometimes the lion participates and kills the buffalo. But then, again, he's the one. Everybody else is like, oh, wait. Fuck, he's got a big belly, man. He's got a big stomach. How much longer? I don't know, about 45 minutes we can eat. The same over here. Iraq, we are going to reconstruct Iraq. And then we are going to allow some German companies, whoever participated in the attack, we're going to allow the coalition members to go and invest and reconstruct something that we blew up. Why? In the name of democracy. You need to break some eggs if you want to make an omelet. Can't make shit up. Yeah, that's what it is, my friends. That's what it is. Has been from the very beginning. And the beginning was in 1991. It didn't start in 2014. It started in 1991. Russia was still too big. The problem is, by 1999, Russia was caught by the balls by these guys. Remember? Yeltsin and Clinton, and not only. Do you remember the elections? I think when Yeltsin was elected the second time, he had advisors from the U.S. State Department. He had advisor how to run his campaign. He's got finance from these guys to win against what? The other guys. There's no interference. No. Only the Russians interfere in our elections. We do not do that. And then that crazy guy took over. Putin took over. Putin was not appointed by... I watched a lot of things. I read a lot of things. I spoke a lot of things. Putin took over with his allies and said, you know what, we're going to straighten things out here in our country. These guys are going to dismember us next. They got the country economically by the balls. They had NATO countries, United States of America, had, how do you call it, not inspectors, they call them inspectors, but some different monitoring personnel, military personnel, at the Russian bases with nuclear weapons in Russia. Something like this, the Russians did not have in the United States of America. CIA had an office in Moscow, center Moscow. No KGB was in Washington, D.C. Why is that? Who owned whom? And then Putin said, okay, we're going to take care of these guys. They're going to run to Israel, London, and New York. He took that. Oh my God! All those dissidents just spread away like fucking anyway. And then Putin is an anti-this now. Okay, well, you were in power since 1918, let's say, until about 1950, some. And then you took care of old Stalin, you know, the Gruzian, the Georgian, because he was about to start a new purge, they say. And then the Russians, little by little, took control of their country. But then these guys, with those guys, organized the destruction. Why? We need Russia. We need their resources. Manpower, ingenuity, hard work, and obviously nuclear weapons they got. So here is, my friends, of course it's about that. Russia cannot stand because it's too strong. As Bill Clinton said when he was the president and he was asked by Putin, he said, well, do you think that we can join NATO? And Clinton said, no, you don't need to. You're too strong. He meant something else. We want to fuck you up before you get stronger. Remember, I shot the sheriff? Okay, well, that song is, again, kill it before it grows. So Russia is it or him. Kill him before it grows. Well, it got too big right now. Too late. And they're fighting this evil empire with other people's lives. That's what bothers me. So Slavs fighting Slavs, cousins, brothers, for what? They said what? London, New York? No, Washington. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.